Hey everyone, I'm Linda Loveland. I'm here with David and Cheryl Correll. We're in Rowan County and this is another Ask a Farmer segment. And today we are talking about CSAs. You all have a CSA this year. First tell me about what you all have.
Our CSA program we call our old-fashioned home delivery program. What we do is we have a 15-week program that begins in mid-April and runs through July. And just like the old milkman of old, we actually deliver our baskets to people's houses, putting them on their porch and dropping them off and delivering the next week.
Yeah, so what kind of things do you have in here? And you grow all the vegetables for your boxes, right?
We grow everything that goes in the box, including fresh eggs that we have added this year. We have everything from artichokes to tomatoes to common things like corn and cantaloupe.
Oh, that's fantastic. So this year, tell me, well, first of all, tell me how important you think these are. I mean, this is a great bridge, too, between farmers and consumers. So how important do you think CSAs are?
CSAs are really important for the farmer because it allows us to pre-sell products that we're going to be growing all season long. So what we do is we utilize the income that we get from the prepayment of the CSAs to have operating expenses for the spring and get us into the summertime when we're producing more crops.
But from the human aspect of it, we get to connect with our customers. Not only do I know where they live, but I know their dog, or when I get there, whether they're want it in a certain location, or if somebody hates kale, then we can take the kale out. And could be an older person that's not had a visitor all week, and they get to see somebody. So that's we spend time visiting or talking, and not just being worried about how fast our deliveries go.
And kale is a superfood. Don't hate it. It's really good for you, right? Oh, so what was it been like after COVID? I know things really shifted for you guys, and it ended up being just a heck of a year for you, right?
We really increased this year. We had planned on increasing our CSA. In 2019, we did about 80 customers. And with our home delivery aspect and COVID and the stay-at-home orders, we actually wound up increasing to 180 customers or so this year. So that big increase was a great thing for us here at the farm, with some of our other markets shut down because of COVID and not being able to attend some of the farmers markets. We were able to shift a lot of that production into the CSAs instead of going to markets on Saturdays.
And what kind of fruits and vegetables did you have in your box? Can you give us more of an example of like what was your last?
We start early spring. We do all kinds of greens. So a typical early spring box would have some collards, kale, onions, garlic, root crops, radishes or beets or something like that. And then we grow about 20 different varieties of lettuce, so some varieties of lettuce in there. And then it transitions as we go through,
A quick question
in May,
though, 20 varieties of lettuce, though. You don't even see that kind of variety in the grocery store. So what is something, just out of curiosity, what is it, maybe a different variety that you've been able to introduce to people?
Our customer favorite is our Salanova salad mix. That includes 8 different kinds of lettuces. That's a blend that's a wonderful just leaf lettuce blend that has lots of color, lots of shapes, different textures to the leaves. It makes a really great.
Sounds like a fancy
blend.
salad blend.
It is. It's a beautiful blend on the plate. And then we transition to squash and cucumbers in May. Tomatoes start coming in here about the second week of June. So tomatoes, a lot of peppers, all kinds of hot peppers, sweet peppers. And we try, when we grow squash, we don't just grow yellow squash and zucchini. We also grow some patty pan squash and some 8-ball zucchinis, which are a round zucchini, just to give people a little different look to their basket every week.
Wow, that's incredibly diverse.
We do a petite size and a classic size, so essentially a small and a large, for people to choose from. And we never have the same thing week to week, except like maybe tomatoes and squash that people expect to get every week, but they would never have collards 3 times in a row or kale 3 times in a row. So it's really a big variety, and David works really hard. We keep a chart of what they get each week because they don't get to select it, because our staff is so small. It's essentially us and our kids and David's uncle, and so we don't have the option really to make every basket unique. Or this year we went to boxes because baskets were not COVID safe, so we went to boxes that could be thrown out every week or recycled every week. But so we really try to have a good variety, since they aren't able to select their ingredients or their options each week.
What would you say, final question, what would you say to people maybe who have not tried a CSA box before? And you said you've had a lot more people try it this year, but what would you say about someone who's maybe hesitant or didn't want to try? What would you say to encourage them?
That the internet is full of recipes for everything. So whether you think you don't like it or you've never had it, because a lot of times David will grow things and we've never eaten it either. And so we'll have to learn how to not only grow it, but learn how to prepare it. And so you can find a recipe for anything. Or a lot of times we've had people say, oh, I've not seen this since my grandmother grew it. And so it's not new, but it's coming back. And so those things are really neat to tell people that you can cook it. It's really not that hard. Just takes a little time, but you can do it.
And Cheryl works every week to prepare an email newsletter that goes out to all the customers. It includes what's going to be in the basket each week, as well as recipes of how to prepare some of the different items like kohlrabi and some things that you don't typically see on the grocery store shelves even. And then we also include a little tidbit about just what's going on the farm that week. So it kind of keeps them engaged, and it keeps them looking at the recipes and seeing what all new stuff they're going to have. And we try to do that early enough in the week. We do that on Sundays, and the deliveries are typically Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And that way, if they have their information on Sunday of what's going to be in the basket, when they do go to the grocery store, they can have those recipes planned and go ahead and a lot of people will call if we happen to be running a few minutes late. They'll say, "Where are you?" We're like, "We'll be there in 10 minutes."
We're
like,
having
well,
that for dinner.
This for dinner. So they're making their plans for their weekly meals around what's in the basket, which is great.
Yep.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work,
Yeah.
but being able to know that you're going to specific families every week and everything is great for us personally, but it's also great for the business as well to know that you have those sales already made early in the spring.
And the favorite was when COVID was happening and no kids were in school, I would drive up and the neighborhood kids would say, "It's the tomato lady," and they would all come running. And to see little kids be excited about getting their vegetables every week, that was pretty, that was pretty good to not only the adults were excited, but the kids knew who I was and they were coming to get excited about their foods.
And get to know their farmer,
Right,
where
right.
their food comes from. That's fantastic.
Right.
Well, David and Cheryl, thanks so much for your time.
Thank
Good
you.
luck with the upcoming season.
Thank you.
Thank you
All
very
right, that's
much.
it for us.